like I do trust them, but I still got a lot of issues, and we working through my issues kind of together.
Okay, so you feel like you would mess it up, so you feel like they're gonna leave you because you mess it up?
No, it ain't about me messing up.
You just said your issues.
My issues, that's not me messing up. That's abandonment issues. That might be insecurity issues. Who knows? But the point is, I have issues with working through said issues. So
let me ask you this then: if you feel like you're still working through issues, then you're jumping into a marriage. Do you feel like that?
I think that we're working on issues at all times in our lives.
Okay.
There's always issues
Okay.
we're working on.
Okay.
So yeah, that if the partner's cool with the issues, then that's good.
Have you ever, anybody at this table ever talked to any couple that's ever been married for more than 30 years?
Yeah.
And have they ever told you how they did it?
We had a conversation.
I know. I still got it.
Okay.
Like, these are, disclaimer, these are not my opinions. This is conversation because it has to be for everybody. Not just, you can't all
Like, are we talking about good marriages?
Yeah, no, just
let's
or a mess.
People
Or
that are just
all of it.
Keep it a keeper.
Oh, we
All
got
of it.
kids.
All of it. What did they tell you is the
different
reason?
Types of, it's different reasons.
Yeah, what
why they
was
stay
the main
together.
reason a lot of them say they stayed together?
They stuck through things.
Why?
They didn't want to do they didn't want to do life without that person. They wanted to do everything in life with this person with them the whole time. That's what I've heard. I don't want to do life without
That's beautiful.
you.
I've never heard that. I've heard it's cheaper to keep her.
That's true companionship. That's
I know
That's
older
what it
couples
is.
who blatantly just don't believe in giving up.
Yeah.
So basically, I guess you could say stubborn. Second part was they just don't want to start over. I've invested in this person. I'm not starting over. So everybody has their reasons for sticking it out. But I feel like if you leave one person for issues and the next person you go to, you're going to have issues. They may be different issues, but they're going to be issues. At some point, you have to work through the issues. A lot of people don't have the necessary skills to work through issues, relationship issues in today's society.
I agree.
Yeah,
And I feel because we have such easy outs.
Yeah, that too. But I think you also need to know like what's a deal breaker. A deal breaker.
Exactly.
So it could just be that each one had the 2 or 3 things that I was not willing to compromise on. That those are traits they had, or those are things that they did, and so it's just I would make it work. But those are the 3 that like no, I'm not compromising on these 3.
You ever heard that expression? To know yourself is to know your partner. You ever heard that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And basically, all that is if you know, like you said, your deal breakers, what you won't tolerate, what you don't need, then you know if your partner reflects that. You won't recognize who's not for you if you don't know who you are. So, and that's going back to just taking the time to learn yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, you're never going to know what you need.
Have your deal breakers changed throughout the years?
Yes.
I think I would say mine have.
Yes. The older I feel like I got, the more knowledge and experience I got, and what I realized goes back to want and need. I remember when I first started dating, what I wanted was a girl that everybody thought was pretty, and you know, not even have a job. She just had to be pretty. That was it. That's it.
They would take care of stuff.
No, I wouldn't take care of her. I ain't had nothing.
But she
We
had
was too young. We didn't need nothing. All you needed, like you said, was love.
Yep.
That's when what you need doesn't match up with what you want.
Yeah, then you get with them and then you realize, man, she's very like obnoxious, you know, she's selfish. Why am I with her? Outside of the fact that she's cute, then you get older and you're like, all right, she got to have conversation and she has to have a job and a car. She has to be able to drive.
So at what point, when did you make the transition?
I made the transition.
Pre-transition.
I made that transition when I grew. When I got my car, I realized my girl needed to have a car because I'm not chauffeuring no girl around, driving across to the other side of town to drive her around. That's not happening. So she has to be able to match my success, which is the car that my parents gave me. Her parents need to give her a car, or she figure it out. And
what if she had nowhere to go to? So like she didn't need a car because she was.
She can't meet out with me because I'm not going to pick her up every time.
Okay.
Now if her parents dropped off, hey,
You secured a ride.
You secure the ride. As long as it's not taking advantage of my gas, because I don't have gas money. Because I don't have money yet. I don't understand what money does yet.
Yeah.
But when I got my first apartment, I instantly felt like a girl has to have an apartment. She can't live at home anymore because I don't live at home anymore. And I don't want to call it a home and she on punishment. I've had that happen. When I was in college, calling back to a high school girlfriend and she was on punishment and her parents said she can't talk on the phone. I was like, oh no, this is not it. That's not it.
No, not at all.
I'm too grown for this. Freshman year of college. But that's how I measured what I was looking for. I reflected what I was doing and I wanted to have my partner at least be able to have that. But that was just for me. What about y'all? When did y'all realize need versus want?
There comes a time when the things that you thought were your deal breakers when you were 26, 28, when you're now like 36, like I can't have somebody that got a kid. If you're 36, you have a kid.
It's
Or
a small
two,
percentage.
and be a perfectly wonderful gentleman
Right.
and a good father. And so those things do change. There are certain things that I'm a little bit more stringent on, and that's just because I feel like if I was to break some of these deal breakers, I would have resentment or I would be unfulfilled. The things that are deal breakers for me are for my fulfillment. So it is a selfish thing. It is potentially a judgmental thing, but if they're not there, if those things aren't met, I know that there will be something missing.
Exactly.
I just know it.
You not
and
following that would be.
I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste nobody else's time. It's not like, there's some people that, it's the season for me to be wasting somebody's time. No, I just don't see it. Because I'm an empath. I don't want to make people feel bad. I don't want to feel bad.
Regardless of how honest it is, if that's that's what you need and what you want, and you say that, there's nothing wrong with that. Either people take it or leave it. I mean, yeah, the way you deliver it, of course, but I feel like everybody should always cater to what they need and want.
There are times when you do end up wondering, though, am I missing out on a lot of these things because they're
Waste of time?
No, huh?
You missing out on wasted time?
Sometimes, I don't know. I always like to say, I don't know if I've ever said this to you, like, if I die tomorrow, I know that I was in love, right? I know that I have been in love before, and I know what that feels like. That wasn't a waste of time to me.
Right.
That was the time of my life, the time of my heart's content, right? But that ain't what I'm in now.
You ever heard the expression that life runs us into all the wrong people to prepare us for the right person?
Yeah.
So something, if you walk away from any relationship and you learn something, it wasn't a waste of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Now for me personally, I hate to waste my time. If I walk away from something and I learn nothing, I didn't grow at all, I am so upset with myself, I'm disappointed with myself. But I refuse to put myself in a situation where I don't grow. That's just me though.
Do you give yourself grace where it's not really 100% on you? Because that seems like
You're a part of the relationship, it's always gonna be on you.
Not 100% though.
No, not at 100%, but it's on you. Even if it's 20%, that's enough to be upset at myself.
If somebody betrays you though, that's not
That's not
on
on
you
me.
to be upset with yourself. And if it breaks.
But I'm
right?
still disappointed in myself for being in that position.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there were signs there.
And at least
That's how I feel. I feel like so what do you take away from somebody that cheats on you? What do you take away from that?
Me? Somebody that cheats
Yeah,
on me?
if somebody cheated on you, what do you take from that relationship?
Anxiety.
Do you learn anything?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I'll tell you what you learned.
I don't even want to go there.
I'll tell you what you learned.
Yeah.
You learn to identify someone who cheats. The characteristics of someone who cheats. You look back at your whole relationship, and there are characteristics in there
You can
that let
piece
you
it
know.
together.
Yeah, you
can
can.
piece it together, but
That's what I do.
that might not be the truth of the matter. There are people that cheat because they're heartless. They don't really have that thing in them that makes them feel bad about whatever you think cheating is, whether it's a kiss or talking to someone or getting emotionally invested in something. Because there's a lot of people that they be cheating at work because they got a homie at work and they roll around with the homie at work and they're really in a relationship from 9 to 5 and it's awesome, right? And then they get home and then they're in a relationship from 5 to 9.
Choices. Choices. Jay, you want to speak on when you feel like your need versus want changed?
It's been consistent.
Think it's been consistent? How so?
I usually, for any relationship that I'm in, I go for what I want.
Okay.
And at each point in time, it's been a lot. So I don't necessarily think I've been with a woman and I felt like I settled.
Okay. So you felt like you've always known what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So, in no time throughout your adult dating life, you ever felt like you wanted more from the type of woman you were dating?
Yeah, the relationship changed.
Okay.
So I may meet someone and during the course of dating and getting to know that person, I can tell, all right, this is someone that I'm interested in, specific. So then I pursue that. Now, over the course of time, everything changes, everything evolves. So when I see that there's a diverging path, then I make a decision or I make a change.
Okay. Simple. It doesn't. But some people it can.
Some people are comfortable with settling. I've never been comfortable.
No,
with settling.
I know that, and I don't get that. Nobody should ever be comfortable with settling.
What's your definition of settling?
Compromising outside of your core values, or even whatever your desires are. You know, I feel like your desires really speak to, what's internal. So, yeah, I mean, it's just really like I said, it's just don't compromise. What are you compromising for? I'm not personally. The way I desire one time on this earth that I'm possibly will remember, and I refuse to go through life settling on anything. I mean, it doesn't necessarily even have to be a relationship. It could be anything. Like I don't see a point to do that because I feel like the universe supplies us with enough resources to be able to get whatever it is that you want. You can manifest whatever it is that you want. So if I'm in a situation where I'm unhappy, why am I going to stay in a situation where I'm unhappy? I don't see any value in it.
Yeah, I definitely get that, man. There's a lot of people who settle, and I used to settle growing up because I didn't know how powerful my choice was, and because I didn't have much to choose from. So when something was given to me, I felt like I'll be able to take it, whether that be a relationship, whether that be materialistic things, opportunities. But then I realized when I started getting to the point where I noticed that I had more options, that I had the choice to choose. But it was hard for me at first because I felt like, well, all of these are options, so should I take all of them? And I learned very quick, no. Because as soon as you do that, people look at you like, well, why did you take it then? Like, because you offered it? And then, people are... So I had to learn that, and that was something I had to get adjusted to myself. But it's interesting how people make that transition and journey in life to learning that about themselves and how powerful their choices are. What about you, Christina? When did you realize that?
I think I'm similar to Jay. When Monique was answering, I was just like, I don't know that mine have changed too much over the years, but I think part of it is I was older, and by older, I probably in my 20s, when I realized that, okay, it's okay to have things that like you're not willing to compromise on, and know everything outside of that is negotiable, right? And at that point, I knew myself. So kind of how you said, you have to know yourself to know what kind of partner you have. So we have a couple of two. Not much has changed. Within the last couple of months, my brother and I we made lists together of like, this is what I want in a partner. This is what I'm not willing to negotiate on. I mean, he mentioned it, and I had to go back and look at my list, and I was just like, yeah, not much has changed since making that list. And it was his relationship situation that prompted us to do it together. But that was again, when I realized that, okay, I need to know what it is I'm not willing to kind of negotiate on. I already knew myself in relationships, not even just romantic relationships, just relationships. Period.
Definitely.
So I agree with a lot that has already been said. I think for me, what has changed is maybe what I'm looking for, per se, at the time. So like, if I'm not looking for a long-lasting relationship, you know, whatever I'm in my younger years, what I'm looking for at that time may not require me to know that you have financial stability. I'm just trying to go, let's go kick it, let's go have fun, let's go, you know, chill. So like the things that I need in terms of a long-term partner are not even really in the, you know, purview of the context of this relationship. But as I've gotten older, obviously what I wanted out of a relationship changed. Like personally, what I wanted, what I was seeking, not necessarily just seeking just that, you know, go kick it, have fun, but now I'm seeking a partner. And so because that evolved, my needs and wants were always there, but they, I guess, more so got prioritized because where I saw myself, what I was looking for out of the person I was dating had changed.
So, everybody here has spoken to their journey that they made, relationship-wise, to needs versus wants, expectations, financial expectations. If you had to give or name one thing that you learned from your experience, what would it be? One thing that you would highlight if you had to pass on some information to someone who might be going through the same things. A nugget or piece of advice for anyone who's making that same journey.
I don't know. I don't think I'm very successful in whatever this is, but I'm content with myself, right? So, and you know, everybody's house of cards is built how they build it. That's a good question. I might have to come up.
Okay. What about you?
I'll say be honest with yourself and be honest with your partner.
Definitely. You put it all out there. I agree with you. Put it all out there. I mean, you can't be faulted for that. And the expectations are set. That's a contract within itself. My opinion.
Jay said, don't settle, and don't settle. And I think that's my bit of advice. But not settling is difficult. And you have to know yourself. You have to be content and okay with yourself, and mentally have mental strength. Because you don't want to waste your time and you don't want trash. So that means that you can't settle. And you have to be okay in knowing that by not settling, you're not wasting your time.
That's so interesting. And it's so powerful in itself because in realizing that you shouldn't settle, you have to also be comfortable with being alone. And a lot of people aren't comfortable with being alone. They'd rather be settling than be alone.
There's a very succinct way of saying what I was trying to say.
Janita?
I actually think Christina said the piece of advice that I would have, which is write down what it is that you want. Write down what it is that you need. Write down what are your non-negotiables. That way, when you are faced with that thing, that person, you kind of have a list that you can. I mean, I'm a check.
Right.
And so if I have something to check against, be specific. Make it a SMART goal of what you're looking for. Then you can very easily know have I reached it or not. And
Exactly.
if not, then is
Yeah.
it realistic for me to stay here? I don't know. Is it
Yeah.
time
Relevant?
bound?
Is it
Right.
relevant?
Is there a time bound? If not, then I won't know. So.
Yeah, that's very true. I didn't realize the power of writing down your goals. I realized that the first time I did it probably 3 times in my life. And my stepmother, I told you this before, my stepmother, she sat me down when I was in high school. Before I went off to college, and told me what kind of woman are you looking for? I was like, I don't know, you know. I didn't want to be superficial, so I was like, She's like, sit down and write on a piece of paper all the things you want on the front side. And she said on the back, write the things you don't want. My back side was long, all the things I didn't want, but I couldn't name past 3 things that I wanted that weren't superficial. I put God fearing because she's. I knew she was going to check me if I didn't put that, but I realized that, and that's when I realized that I don't know what I want. And then when I got to college, I did it again, and that list was so different. But the front side got longer. Then when I got into my 30s, I mentally checked that again, and I realized, okay, I'm getting closer to having a complete balance sheet, and and that's a good tidbit to take away, because writing down those things and actually seeing them is very, very, very powerful.
And articulating, because a lot of people have something that they're feeling like, oh, this person annoys me or whatever, but they can't articulate to that person what it is that they're doing that annoys them or that they are not fulfilling. But if you've written it down, that makes it a lot easier to articulate.
That's a skill. Not everybody has that skill, but that's also a point in life. Also, that you have to realize who you are. If you can't articulate yourself emotionally, then you might not be in a position to get to where you want to be. That's like trying to get directions and you're lost without asking for directions. You're making life harder than it has to be, so you have to be willing to grow. And I can test it as well, you know, that's something that we find ourselves dealing with as we do this relationship journey. You know, how do we communicate in the love language, knowing what those are, and basically articulating ourselves.
Oh, I have mine. I would say understanding your expectations, because I think that a lot of people's disappointments are the expectations that they didn't know that they had set, that someone kind of trampled over or bypassed or kind of stiff-armed. And I think that rounding up the conversation of like finances, you guys have to have a real and honest and blunt conversation about what you expect. Is it what's yours is mine, what's mine is mine, what's ours is ours, big bag, take little bag, which one is it? Do we align? If we can't align, can we find a compromise somewhere in there that is reasonable, not a compromise where you die to yourself? Because I have heard a lot of people that are in successful relationships say, well, sometimes there are days where whatever I want, it just doesn't necessarily matter, and I get over it, and I'm okay with that, because that's just how we are. And then there are days,
That's just relationships.
That's just relationships, right? Where a part of you just kind of has to just say, I'm gonna take that one. That's on the chin. I'm good, but I love you, or So I think managing your expectations, keeping them high where they need to be, reasonable where they need to be, very low where they need to be, so that people can surprise you.
So you have to do it with like people who are on fire.
Hey.
Let me pause this.
So, you have any more questions? Let's
talk to me, Mo. Come on, talk to me, Mo. Are you recording? Yeah. Oh.
We ain't recording.
Let me
So
see.
you just be
Move the water bottle.
Oh, I always got questions. But...
Who's for?
It's mine.
well, you have the panel.
Would you date yourself?
Yeah.
I would. I think I'm dope as fuck.
I was just about to say, I feel like I'm kind of looking
I
for
hope
me.
nobody would say no.
There's some people like I'm
I like
fucking. There's some people I'm trash. I know I'm trash.
So would
I
you
wouldn't
date
put
the
up on
female
myself.
version of yourself? Okay.
Who?
Redacted.
I need to know who this person was. That was
Yeah, that's an off-camera
I
conversation.
must not have met them.
Anonymous.
You know who it is very well.
I'm not saying it would last dating oneself, but I wouldn't be opposed to
I would
it.
get on my nerves though.
Mm-mm.
I have a question. What do you guys think of horoscope alignments?
Call Miss Cleo.
Some people live by that.
I don't think there's this, there's something behind it. I do feel like for a lot of horoscopes, there are some, I guess, things that are applicable in how they describe that said horoscope just for knowledge purposes, but I don't know that it's necessarily because you're a whatever, I'm a fire sign, you're a water sign, so that actually fire and water go together, but two fires, we can't be together. I wouldn't use that as like a deal breaker, but I would go into like, oh, I do know that you two maybe also be, the same characteristics could come out. So
I wasn't a big fan of horoscopes until college. I came across this book, but if you guys want to know, I'll tell you after. But yeah, this book, basically it tells you who's compatible for you, not just horoscope, but sexually. It tells you what each person's sexual chemistry is. It tells you what to do to the erogenous zones. It tells you how to break up with these type of people. Like, it broke every category
Which
down.
doctor book?
It is. So I read it.
Right.
I was at a basketball
That's why you
game
focus
on campus, and I was in the stands and I was reading this book to friends. And one girl,
At a basketball game?
yeah, I was just joking, people. I'm bringing out like, yo, what's your sign?
The
This
erogenous
conversation.
zone.
Yeah. I was going straight there.
And then it got done.
And I was talking to a girl that I didn't know. I was like, yo, what's your sign? I was like, well, according to this book, it says the back of your heel and your lower back. And then she was like,
That's a Ouija board.
she was like, what? And she was like, oh my God. And then I was like, all right. And I just started reading what it said about it. And she was like, 95% of that is true. And I was like, Then I read the next person. Then I read the next person. It was all in the 90 percentile that everybody said that was them. I was like, that's interesting. Then the girl, she asked me to use the book. And then she went to the other side of the gym and she was showing her girlfriends. And this just started a whole uproar.
So
I
nobody
didn't
was
get my
watching
book
the
back for the whole year. I didn't know who had it. I had to track my book down. Then somebody borrowed it again. My roommate borrowed it, and he lost it again. I purchased this book 3 times in my life, but I have it, and I don't look at it anymore because it's basically I know what it's like to know the future, because this book has foretold a lot, and it's not always fun to know. Because then when you see it, it's like you have no choice but to like be like, all right, this ain't gonna work. If this is true and this is true, if 5 things are true, and the book said it was gonna happen in this exact order, yeah, this book is telling me how it's gonna end, or how it could end. And that happened to me twice. So I was like, yeah, I don't even want to know the book. I just want to live life.
But yet you purchased the book 3 times. So
The
you
third
wanted to
time
know
I purchased
something.
it, the third time I purchased it was because somebody didn't believe me, and I wanted them to see it. I was like, let everyone in your life. They gave it back to me quick. It was either you or my sister I got it for. I think I showed you that book.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, that book is scary.
I think that with horoscopes, there came a point in time, I don't know when this was, but like, cause I'm a Leo, you're a Leo, right? There are characteristics of the horoscope itself, and then I think that people lean into the characteristics to the point where they kind of become caricatures. Because I feel like I have elements of probably like both signs, because I'm close on like the 20th of August, but I also don't really want to like ascribe, because there are some negative, real toxic things for every horoscope. Geminis get it bad, Scorpios get it bad, Aquarius and Bullhead, all of that stuff. There's like, it's like, do you lean into that toxic part of it, or are you who you are, or are you your horoscope,
Right.
or are you elements of a bit of it? And is some of it chance? They could write whatever about Leos for the day, and some of us it's gonna happen, and for some of us it's not going to happen at all, because we don't necessarily
Like you said,
subscribe
you just
to
can
it.
lean into it.
Yeah.
I'll say I'm a Capricorn, and reading the Capricorn characteristics, personality details, I fit like probably 90% of everyone that I've seen. So that's always been for me like, there's something to this personality wise. Yeah.
Now hold up. Do you fit under the Capricorn of the old dates? Because a couple years ago they came out with new dates.
Oh no,
So
this is
so
the
you
thing. I'm not up to date on
You
my.
actually may not even be a Capricorn according to the new calendar.
Oh.
Because I know according to the new calendar, I am a Leo, and I'm like, that's a whole lot. So, I I forget. I think it's shift. There's a 13th sign I think added or something like that.
Why was this not news?
That's witchcraft.
Google it. There's a whole like it shifted.
Right, but I'm saying like, why were there not like campaigns to learn more about this?
Because people are like, what I said that's bullshit. Yes. I ain't. But like type in, I guess, new zodiac calendar or something like that.
There's a whole campaign for our superpower.
NASA
on the 21st.
discovered a 13th zodiac sign.
Yeah.
So anyone born between November 29th and December 17th would no longer be a Scorpio or Sagittarius, but a ficus?
That's whack.
That's whack.
I'm
You can't even tell nobody that. I'm
Right.
like, ficus.
But then it should have a calendar of like how it shifts everything else.
Interesting. I think mine's still gonna be the same.
I'm pretty sure like everybody shifts, like the good majority like shifts.
Right, but the shift might not be large enough to impact.
You're at the beginning of the month. I'm at the beginning
Did
of
they
the month.
put
No. But it starts with December.
Did they put personality traits to a ficus as well?
I think it's.
And just meld it into whatever the two were?
Let's see. That's not even.
They don't have that ficus symbol.
No, I don't think people really accepted this.
I told you.
People said,
Get out there. Be gone.
Anybody accepting that?
No.
Just, yeah, they say I'm still a Capricorn.
January 11th. January 11th. Your birthday is January something else, not 11th. So therefore,
I found I got the right one. Oh.
what are you now? What's the sign?
Oh, Capricorn.
Okay, I was like, give me all the
Capricorn.
Am I still a Leo August
Embrace
20th?
responsibility
Probably
and death.
No?
I'm not Leo. Never mind. I was
Oh,
like,
have mercy.
Who are you?
I don't remember.
But you're July, right?
No, I'm August.
You're August.
And I too feel like that 95% of the Leo characteristics I fit.
I fit them, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like people lean into this stuff. So I'm a Cancer, you know, like,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't base off.
But
I don't
think
base
that's
what
something.
Yeah.
I'm expected to do, but
Unless
I
you
look
can
at it to
prove
see
that
if
the
I've
moon
ever
will pull
done
us.
these things, and that's when it becomes funny. Like, okay, a lot of the stuff about my sign I don't subscribe to because they got me out there. But the whole bullhead, that's not me. I can be, but I think everybody can. Oh, no.
And that's stuff in this.
What's your?
That's a long drink. That was a long sip.
Really? I'm bullheaded?
I'm not saying anything.
Everybody stands up for themselves. Everybody has a stance. But I don't feel like
Sound
the
like
way they
it's-
make
Don't do it.
the
Sound
way,
like excuses.
Don't do it.
the way they make
Don't do it.
Taurus out to be is that we can't be swayed. If you give me facts,
How many facts?
Carpet.
facts, period.
But like, I need 2 facts.
That's-
Even when facts are presented, sometimes it's gotta be
Empirical
Wait, let
facts.
me.
See, that's you, but not
okay,
me.
You right. You right.
If I don't have facts and you're telling me something and you have facts, I'm not gonna argue with facts. I'm a firm believer in facts.
Well, where these facts come from?
Really?
It's a
And
heavy,
how many
it's a
facts?
heavy
You know, like
side.
saying
That's
how
what we
many?
doing?
That's from the soul.
If I give you
That's
2
what we
facts,
doing?
does that qualify
2020,
enough
that's what we
to
doing?
change your mind?
21.
2021?
Savage.
What
I
happened?
said if I give you 2 facts, or
That's enough.
enough to change. Okay.
That's enough. It's fact. But you can be one if it's a powerful enough fact. It depends on what the fact is. One could be enough. For me. I'm not speaking for everybody, for me.
Okay.
Now, if I'm giving you facts as well, and you give me 1, and I give you 3,
Then you.
then I
Your
might not.
facts
I might
are
not.
a little bit
No,
more.
I might not be. That's like anybody. I
But
might
how
not
you know
be
that your
convinced.
facts are facts? Because if I'm coming with my
Facts
one
can be
strong
fact-checked.
fact,
Facts
I'm
can be
just
fact
like,
checked. That's why it's a
you know,
fact.
this one,
Not
this,
opinion.
This is
Facts.
it. Okay.
You can look this up.
Like,
If I say, if somebody says,
water to a whale. Oh. That.
you still
Right.
have not proven
Monique,
that.
the Jay-Z line.
What is it?
I'm a hustler, baby. I can sell water to a.
Oh, I'm not the biggest Jay-Z lyrical
To a
miracle person.
Whale.
Which
Spell
what-
whale.
what-
Hold on. Spell whale.
Oh no! Don't do it. Don't.
No,
do
no,
it.
no. I want to know which spell whale. Which whale?
He didn't say WELL,
No,
did he?
No, I want to know what whale do you think?
Yes. Sell water to a well.
I don't want to go into this trap.
Stop.
These are
No,
not
no,
the wells that
no,
are dry.
no,
I opt out.
no, please don't.
I opt out.
No. I am curious.
A whale
Has to
will
live in
never
water.
be
Listen,
dry.
always need water.
A beluga.
I'm a hustler,
Right.
baby. I can
You know
sell
how to
water
do comparisons, right?
Listen.
Some of these-
Stop. Don't interject yourself. I'm just say
Too
what
much
you.
energy coming this way.
Just
Go
both of
ahead
you.
and
Both
pass
of you.
that along.
Both of
No,
you.
no,
pass that
Listen,
along.
no, I'm a hustler,
Well,
baby.
could-
I can sell water to a who?
The first thing that I said was no. I know you did not say WELL, and he looked at me deadpan and said, "I sure as hell did." And I said, "Oh."
So which is it?
No.
Christina, can you read that whole line to me though?
But here's the thing: triple entendres don't even ask me how. So I think that Jay-Z, I'm gonna shoot you some bail. I think that Jay-Z did
I'm
that on
huge.
purpose.
I'm a huge Jay-Z
So it could
fan.
be either or.
If you don't talk to me nice, don't talk